For number 1, x squared plus x cubed, most of you answered, what's your answer here? X raised to 5, which is wrong. Okay? It is not x raised to 5. I know what you're thinking. You said, you might be thinking, oh, x squared plus x cubed, I just have to keep the base and add exponents. Okay? That's not the case. Remember that the rule was, if I have xn times xm, it should be a product. Then that's when you add the exponents. But not if you're adding the two monomials. If you're adding two monomials, you have to make sure that you have like terms. Okay? These are not like terms because they don't have the same exponents. So the answer here will be x squared plus x cubed. Okay, that's the answer. X squared plus x cubed. You cannot simplify x squared plus x cubed. Unless the question was x cubed plus x cubed, then the answer will be 2x cubed. Okay? So I hope you can see the difference between the two. All right, applying this property, if you multiply monomial, you add the exponents. So we are multiplying monomial. Do we have the same base here? Yes, we have the same base. So keep the base. What should I do with the exponents then? We have to add 6 over 5 plus 3 over 5. So when you add a fraction, we have to make sure that you have the same denominator. Okay, do we have the same denominator? All right, so I'll just copy the denominator, then add the exponents, 6 plus 3, which will give us 9 over 5. So that will be the answer for number 2. All right, number 3. So I will simplify this one first. And the way I simplify this, I usually write the exponents of your bases. If you don't have any exponent, you have to write it. So in this case, 8 is raised to 1. Okay. Again, I always do this so that I will not think that I have to multiply negative 8 by 2, because that's one of the common mistakes. We have to multiply exponent only. So I will have here what? This is negative 8. Now remember, the entire negative 8 is raised to 2. So I have to write this negative 8 raised to 2 with the parentheses. Now 8 squared raised to 2, that will just be a4. Now b is raised to 1. So b raised to 1 raised to 2 will give us b raised to 2. So that will be the first parentheses. For the second parentheses, I will have here a negative 1. Okay, there's a coefficient here, negative 1. So the exponent of negative 1 is 1. So 3 times 1 will have here negative 1 raised to 3. Okay, a4 raised to 3, that's a12. And then b raised to 3 raised to 3, that's b9. What's negative 8 squared? All right, 64. Then a4, b squared, times. What is negative 1 raised to 3? That's just negative 1. Okay? So I'll have here a negative 1, a12, b9. Now we are ready to simplify these two expressions. So I will have here 64 times a negative 1. Coefficients first. 64 times negative 1 will give us negative 64. A4 times A12. A16, very good. And then B squared, and then B9 will give us B raised to 11. So this will be our final answer for number 8. For warm-up number 4, we just need to distribute this monomial to each of the, so let's say this one, distribute to this, distribute to negative xy, distribute to your 3. Okay, so I will multiply 2, x2 and y, times that with x4 and y cubed. Then this to this, so you will have 2x2y times a negative xy, and then this to this, I will have 2x squared y times 3. All right, so 2x2y times x4y cubed. When you multiply monomial, you have to add exponents, except for coefficients, okay? So what's 2 times 1? That's 2. X squared times x4, x6. Okay, do not multiply the exponents, okay? We only multiply the exponents if we have it like this, power to a power. Then you will have x8, okay? Just want to clarify that. Here, x2, x4, that's just x6, y1, okay, that's raised to 1, times y cubed, you will have y raised to 4, okay, plus, right, 2 times negative 1, negative 2, x squared times x raised to 1,
x3,
very good, x cubed, y1 times y1,
y3,
y squared. And finally, 2 times the coefficient here, 6, x squared, and then 1. I have here plus and minus, so if you simplify a plus and a minus sign, you can just rewrite this as just minus. So next, do we have any like terms? Because we are now adding and subtracting here. Do we have any like terms? Meaning, do you have x6 and y4 here? None. So we cannot add or subtract anything here. Do I have x cubed and y cubed? None. So this will be our final answer. Okay. Like terms means, for example, only if we have, like, say, let's say 2x cubed, y squared, let's say plus 6x cubed, y squared, for example, then this will be like terms. Then we can add these two together. When you add, you just have to, I have 2x cubed y squared, I have 6x cubed y squared. Combining these two together, I will have all in all 8x cubed y squared. So that's the difference when you add and now when you're multiplying monomials. So here, first, we can multiply negative v squared times 5v cubed. So coefficient first. Negative 1 times 5 will give us negative 5. V squared v cubed, 6 or 5? Okay, be careful with that. Times 2m squared. Now here's your question. Can we multiply negative 5 and 2? Yes, we can. They're just regular numbers. Negative 5 times 2 will give us negative 10. V5 m squared. Can I multiply v5 by m squared? Not anymore, okay? Because the law was, or the procedure was, if I have the same base, multiply it together, keep the base, and add the exponents.